Our second question says, calculate the area of the following triangle. Round your final answers to 2 decimal places. So I have a right angle triangle here. It has a side of 97 meters. It has an angle of 54 degrees, and it's also a right angle triangle. Now the question is asking us to find the area. Now the formula for the area of a triangle is base times height divided by 2. And if you didn't know that, you can Google it, look it up. It's definitely something you can find easily on the internet if you're looking for it. So we've got base times height divided by 2. In a triangle, the base and height always meet at 90 degrees. So since I have a 90-degree angle here, one of these is the base and one of them is the height. So I'm pretty sure this one on the bottom would be the base and this part here would be the height. So my problem is that I know the base, but I don't know the height. And to calculate the height, I'm going to need to do something. So it is a right angle triangle, so I should either be able to use the Pythagorean theorem or a sine, cos, or tan ratio. So to use Pythagorean theorem, you need to know 2 of the 3 sides, and I only know 1 of the 3 sides, so I don't think I'm going to be able to do that. But I do have an angle, which is kind of a clue that we're going to be using either the sine, cos, or tan ratios. So I'm going to start by labeling my sides, not A, B, and C, but hypotenuse, opposite, and adjacent. So I always start with that right angle. I go straight across to the other side, to that longest side, and there's my hypotenuse. I find the angle in the question, that's 54 degrees. I follow it across to the other side, and there's my opposite. It is opposite the angle. And then my third side is the adjacent. So it means it's beside the angle. So I know that we've got the opposite and we're trying to find the adjacent. So the side that I don't really care about right now is that hypotenuse. So I'm going to look for a ratio that uses the adjacent and the opposite. So to help me do that, I use the word SOHCAHTOA. And SOHCAHTOA is only helpful if you know how to spell it. It's SOHCAHTOA. So I know I've got adjacent and I've got opposite. So adjacent and opposite means we are going to be using tan. So I'm going to write tan of angle A equals O opposite over A adjacent. So tan of angle 54 is opposite, so that's 97, divided by the adjacent, which I don't know. So it's currently labeled H. If you want to call it X, you could call it X. It really doesn't make a difference. So I'm going to cross multiply, but in order to do that, I need to give tan 54 its secret denominator of 1, and then we are going to cross multiply. So I'm going to do H times tan of 54 and then 1 times 97. Now the problem here is that H is not by itself. If H was on this side and the 97 was on the other side, you could actually just go ahead and calculate. But because H is not by itself yet, I need another step where I divide both sides by tan of 54. So 97 divided by tan of 54 is going to be our height. So on my calculator, first things first, am I in degrees? Yes, I am. So 97 divided by, if when you press the tan button, you see the word tan, you would just do divided by tan 54. But I know that doesn't happen on my calculator, so I'm going to end up dividing by 54 and then pressing tan and then hit equals. So I have 70.47, and then the next number is a 4. So 70.47. And that should be meters. So the height is approximately 70.47 meters. Now, am I done the question? No, the question actually asked me to find the area. So the reason we did this work was to find the height so that I can do base times height divided by 2. So I'm going to come back to this calculation that we started. I'm going to put in 70.47 for the base, and then 97 for the height, and then divide that by 2. Now, if you want to leave the number with all of the decimal places and calculate, you are welcome to do that, but I'm just going to use the rounded number. So 70.47 times 97, and then divided by 2. So if you kept all of the decimal places, your answer would be a little bit different. It's okay. I will always check both answers to see what happens. So if you want to leave all the decimal places in, you're welcome to do that. It actually gives you a more accurate answer. So I have 3,417 point. Now I have 79. The next number is a 5. That 5 is going to push that 9 up to a 10, which pushes that 7 up to an 8. So it's going to be 0.80. This is meters, and it's area, so it should be meters squared. So I do just want to write a final sentence since this is an application question. So therefore the area is 3,417.80 meters squared. And that's it for our lesson today.